Who is she?
Who is she?
I don't know her.
Who is she? I don't know her. Becky with the good hair, right?
Tyler must be. Becky with the good hair.
Okay, what was the question again? Hi everyone, and welcome to Talkin With Taylor. On today's episode, we'll be talking about following your dreams. Back in 2006, thanks to the vision and generosity of Greg and Rebecca Reid, Starlight Theater was able to establish the Vincent Legacy Scholarship program. Each of the 32 Vincent Legacy Scholarships awarded since have provided ethnically diverse students in Kansas City the chance to follow their dreams and receive professional training in the performing arts. Vincent Legacy Scholarships are awarded to aspiring young performers in grades 6 to 8 who use the funds for training in singing, dancing, and acting during their middle and high school years. At Starlight, we know that to perform is to tell a story, and everyone's story deserves to be told. We strive for inclusion and equal opportunities in the performing arts here at Starlight. Our Vincent Legacy Scholarship celebrates that idea and helps more and more students follow their dreams with each passing year. On today's episode, I'll talk with Faith Andrews O'Neill, a 2016 Vincent Legacy Scholar, and find out where her dreams are taking her. Hi, Faith.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming to talk with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Faith Elizabeth Andrews O'Neill Julu. I have a bunch of names. Right now, I currently attend St. Teresa's Academy. I'm a sophomore. There, I'm involved in student government. I tutor. And then basically when I'm not in school or church, I dance. It's basically what I spend the rest of my time doing.
You're busy. You're very busy.
I try.
So what is your passion? Is dance your passion?
I would say it's a mixture. It's a really, really kind of odd mixture between STEM and activism and dance. I'd say the three things that I'm really, really passionate about. So like I love science, and then I love dance. Dance is kind of, I've been dancing since I was about 2.5, so that's what I've grown up on. Wow. And then activism is something I've kind of come into like late middle school, especially now. I have a blog through my school newspaper, and I just kind of talk about different social issues. And
that's so great.
Yeah.
I love that. So you started dancing at 2. Wow.
Yeah, 2, 3.
So how did you start to fall in love with dance at 2?
Well, like my mom was a cheerleader, and she kind of always said that she wanted to be a dancer. So she put me in classes at a studio called Wind Twins. It's in Raytown, and I took ballet and tap, like standard little kid stuff, and kind of everyone else started kind of falling off, and I wasn't really into the other sports, so I stuck with it. I did soccer for a year, and that was a mistake. Went right back to dance.
Yeah, I did soccer for a while too. Not my thing.
The only goal I scored
couldn't
was
figure out
on my own team.
Like you can't touch the ball. You can't do the
no.
It's like,
What's offsides?
No, it didn't work with my head.
I don't know.
Hit it with my head. So let's talk a little bit about the Vincent Legacy Scholarship. So you were a Vincent Legacy Scholar in 2016.
Yes.
So tell me how that has impacted your life.
Well, I mean, I feel I have just become so much of a better dancer now than previously, because I was taking about 2 or 3 classes a week. Now I'm taking about 6 to 8. And that just would not have been an option for me just financially without the Vincent Legacy Scholarship. Because Kansas City Friends of Alvin Ailey, God bless, they offer free classes, and that's how I was getting all of my instruction. And now I'm able to take supplementary classes at Miller Marley School of Dance and Voice. I take ballet and I take point there, and I just know I have improved so much in this past year because of that, and just the opportunities that have been afforded to me now that I've become a better dancer and more confident in my abilities. That's great. Definitely due to the Vincent Legacy Scholarship.
That is so great. So let's talk a little bit too about the Vincent Legacy Scholarship and how it impacts even other aspects of your life. So you've talked about how you're so interested in activism,
yes,
which is so amazing.
Thank you.
So how has it impacted that?
I think mostly because it's given me the ability to take more classes. I think, I mean, I'm a dancer, so pretty much everything kind of ties back to dance, but as I've become more sure of myself and my abilities, I've been able to take all of that like insecurity and like angst and kind of focus it on other aspects of my life. So now it's kind of thanks to the scholarship, I'm kind of able to say like, okay, I've got this. Like I've got a grasp on this, and now I can focus on other things like activism or like school, and that kind of thing. And I think they definitely encourage it. Like I remember during my audition process, they brought up the fact that I'd gotten like a little over 300 community service hours that year, and they were like, let's talk about this. Like, what's happening with that? And it was just really cool, and it was encouraging to see that they were so interested and encouraging of my community service and all of that.
That's amazing. Well, so let's talk a little bit about the community service. So that is a big part of the Vincent Legacy Scholarship, and I think it's important for everybody. Everybody needs to get involved in their community.
Go do community stuff.
Do it. So tell me a little bit about what you've done in the community. How did you get involved?
Well, originally I got a big chunk, like right before I got the scholarship, or the summer previous to the scholarship, at my school, or my previous school I went to, St. Paul's Episcopal Day School, and I worked as a counselor in training. So I did about 8 hours a day for, I think, 8 weeks, about 2 months. So then I got 320 from doing that, and then I worked about 50 to 80-ish at my church, because my uncle's a pastor, so he was kind of like, if you want to go ahead and work in the nursery, I'll give you some hours. So mostly kid-focused. I love kids so much.
Great.
So a lot of little kid stuff, and then now at my school, I tutor a couple students in French, so I get some hours through that.
That's great. So how would you suggest to your peers that they get involved in their community? What are some tips?
Well, I think it's way easier than people think it is, and it doesn't have to be school facilitated. Like there's so many organizations just all over the city that need the help. Like very rarely are people going to deny help, especially from kids, like able-bodied kids and kids who can go out and do what needs to be done. And I think if you just take the initiative and like contact a supervisor, contact someone in charge of organization, it's really easy to get out there and make a difference. So I would encourage that.
Tell me a little bit about the process of the Vincent Legacy Scholarship. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance, right?
There's a lot of pomp and circumstance. So my great aunt is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and they have an organization called Ascend, and they like help high schoolers and middle schoolers. And so I found out about the scholarship through that organization, even though I'm not a part of it. She was kind of like, you dance, I'm gonna go ahead and send this your way. So it was kind of like a mad dash to audition, because the deadline kind of snuck up on us a little bit. So we were like calling all of our dance teachers and getting the recommendation letters. And then in my head, I was like, no, like we're probably gonna learn a dance combination when we get there. And then it was like, no, you need to have a dance prepared. So then it was, I think I choreographed my dance in about 2 or 3 days, because I had started a dance and then I was like, no, scrapped, like trash. So I just completely got rid of it. And then I think the first workshop was on a Sunday, and I think I finished that morning.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and so we did the workshop, which is where all of the final auditionees go, and they kind of show what they're working on, and then the audition is a week later. And so the audition was Miss Reiner, and Mr. Andy was there, and the Reids were there, and we all just kind of sat in, and everyone waited outside, and we all went in individually and auditioned. So I did the dance, which I had fine-tuned a little bit over the week from the rough draft, and then I didn't hear back for a while. So I kind of figured like it didn't happen, and I was just kind of ready to move on. And then all of a sudden I see like my great aunt and my mom and my grandma, and they're like all at my school, and I have no idea what's going on.
Why are you here?
And they were like, oh, we're just having a sorority meeting. And I was like, really? In my lunchroom?
Like, I don't believe
I don't think so. And then I see like the Reids walk in, and they're holding this big like purple check, and I was freaking out, and like all of my friends were there in the lunchroom, and they were like, what is going on? And I was like, guys, I have no idea what's happening right now. And I got the check, and I had to like try to maintain my composure a little bit, because it was just really cool. I never thought I'd actually get handed one of those.
Oh, I know. I've never gotten one.
They're so cool.
That is a goal for me. I want
get one of those fat checks. Yes. They're so exciting. Yes. Like it was just so cool. And it was a lot of fun. And then since then, we've done a lot of different things. Like we meet for dinner and see the fall play, which is really exciting.
Oh, that's so great.
And my first year, I got to go up and get presented with my actual little trophy, so that was fun. And then the next year, I got to go up and congratulate that year's scholars, and it was just a lot of fun. And then in the winter, we do a dinner with like scholars, from even like some of the first Vincent Legacy recipients.
Because it's not just a one and done. You get to stay involved, and it really kind of becomes like a family. And
yeah, it was really, really cool seeing people like living the dream that I would like to, like 25 and still like dancing and singing, and everyone kind of gets together and performs, and it's just a really cool group of like artists who are proud of their craft. So
and you get to get kind of close with all of those.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like people all over the country are like coming together and singing and doing dances. And it was a lot of fun.
That's great. So you talked a little bit about the Reids too, which are the Reids are such amazing people.
Phenomenal people.
Is there anything you want to say to them?
I would just say thank you. Thank you so much. Like this scholarship has actually been life-changing. And I didn't know how much it would be until I actually received it. But it's given me so many more opportunities, and I just feel so much more confident and disciplined in my craft now. And I'm just so thankful to have been afforded this opportunity. So thank you to the Reids.
So this is a big question, but so what is your dream? Is dance part of your dream?
It's multifaceted, so there are a few paths. I mean, one is to be a pediatric oncologist in a children's hospital.
Wow.
Another is like some type of journalist / politician, something like political science / communications. And then the third path, which is like the dream is to be like a dancer with the Ailey Company in New York, which is like, oh my gosh, that would be incredible. And I dance with Kansas City Friends of Alvin Ailey now, so that's kind of where, like I've been obsessed with him since I saw Revelations when I was 7 years old, but now that I'm dancing with people who have worked with them and I get to see them every year through the studio, it's kind of just pushed me even more to kind of be like, man, this will be awesome, and this is what I could do for the rest of my life.
That's amazing. It's so great that it's so multifaceted and you have so many wonderful directions to go. I think that's amazing and inspiring. And I think that it's really important. I mean, what we really strive for here at Starlight is that, to perform is to tell your story, and and everybody's story deserves to be told, and diversity in the theater and the performing arts and in everything is so important.
Yes.
And so, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much grown up in a lot of very different environments. I go to a predominantly white studio. I go to a predominantly black studio. I feel very grateful that I've been afforded the opportunity to observe and be a part of both ends of the spectrum. And I think that this scholarship gives a lot of kids opportunities to experience both ends of that spectrum that I think otherwise they may not have that opportunity. And I think it's a really good preparation for the world, like past high school, or I guess past middle school in the case of the scholars, because like everyone I think needs exposure, especially in a field like performing arts. I think exposure is one of the most important tools you can have as far as being successful in this field. And I think that this scholarship gives people that exposure. It gives people the opportunity to have a lot of fantastic experiences, and I think that can be applied to pretty much any aspect in your life. So yeah, apply, audition.
Do it.
Yeah, do the scholarship thing.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Faith, for coming to talk with me today. You've inspired me, and I know you inspire so many people here at Starlight. So keep doing you.
I'll try. That's the goal.
Well, thanks for watching another episode of Talkin With Taylor, and keep up with more episodes at kcstarlight.com or here on social media on Facebook or Instagram at kcstarlight.